In the name of the Father, the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thy intercession, was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgins, my Mother.
To thee do I
Come, before thee I stand, sinful and sorrowful. Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So the first thing I want to do today is just review what the MI is. We talked a little bit about it at the last gathering, but we didn't go into much detail, so I just want to kind of get that solidified before we dive into the second part. Okay. So here's a brochure. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you.
The brochure. Now, the Militia of the Immaculata, as you know, it has the title Militia because St. Maximilian was essentially surrounded by violence, right? He was born in Russian-occupied Poland, like we talked about. He lived through World War I. He saw Freemason demonstrations in Rome that were very anti-clerical, anti-Catholic. Just a lot of different things. He thought about being a strategist for the army and actually almost left the Franciscans, right, to do that. And so he had in his heart this idea that he was called, kind of like St. Francis of Assisi, right, to fight for Jesus. To fight for Our Lady. And so when he realized it wasn't literally to take up arms, but to found this movement of people were totally consecrated to Our Lady, and together we would fight the evil in the world, essentially, and conquer souls for Christ, for the greatest glory of God. So that's why it's called Militia of the Immaculata. You can see down at the bottom, however, that the website is missionimmaculata.com, because we don't want to give first impression that we're somehow a violent group. Okay, we share it's a mission. We can't change the name because that's what it is in Latin. That's how it was founded, but we're allowed to obviously adjust a little bit our advertising and whatnot. So Mission of the Immaculata. So missionimmaculata.com if you're interested in learning more about it. So the MI was founded, as you know, by St. Maximilian Kolbe in 1917, which is was also the year of Our Lady of Fatima's apparition. And it was actually, he founded the MI actually 3 days after the miracle of the sun. And so Our Lady's message in Fatima was to have souls entrust themselves to her, consecrate Russia in particular, and to prayer and penance. And so it's beautiful that St. Maximilian founded this movement very much in the theme of Our Lady of Fatima without actually knowing anything about Our Lady of Fatima. So you can see the Holy Spirit moving. The MI is a program that offers ongoing formation. So there's monthly newsletters, there's different retreats and things throughout the years. Here in the house, we collaborate with the MI, so we're offering the same spirituality as the MI, and we do a lot. We've done a lot in the past with the MI, and we continue to do that. So if you're interested in involvement, it would really probably be here at the house. It offers a deeper understanding of the Blessed Virgin Mary and her role in salvation, consecration, and this is all in the spirit, as I said, of St. Maximilian Kolbe. And the MI helps to ignite sort of that zeal in our souls to be instruments for evangelizing wherever it is that we are and giving witness to the truth and promoting the sacredness of human life. So that's sort of different things that the MI offers on a spiritual level. And it continues to do this through various programs. There's MI Youth and Young Adults, there's MI adult groups, there's and it's broken into essentially 3 levels. Okay, so there's MI1, this isn't in the brochure I don't think. There's MI1 and MI1, MI2 and MI3. And the MI1 is just our people who are consecrated to Our Lady in the spirit of St. Maximilian. They're enrolled in the movement, they share the mission, but they're living essentially, living it out essentially on their own. okay? MI2 is somebody who belongs to a group and is active directly in the movement. And MI3 would be somebody who's given their life to the spirit of the movement, to the movement. And so that would be, I believe, I hope, myself, would be an example of that. And so that just gives you kind of a scope of the different ways of being involved in the MI. So when we talk about enrolling in the MI, it's not that you have to sign on the dotted line and sign your life away. It's not that you're becoming a missionary. It's you can be involved in these three different ways. Another beautiful way of being involved in the MI is here in the brochure, it calls it a special vanguard, is the Knights at the Foot of the Cross. The Knights at the Foot of the Cross are suffering souls. They're persons who have a chronic illness, who offer that chronic illness up for the MI and for, again, the salvation of souls. So they offer their consecration, their suffering to Jesus through Mary. And there's no, I said earlier today, it's not like there's a test, like a physical exam to make sure you're suffering, right? It's whatever the person is carrying. If they consider it to be a chronic suffering, they can offer that. So anything from a spiritual, emotional, physical, it doesn't really matter. And so that's the Knights at the Foot of the Cross. Now, another advantage of belonging to the MI is the prayer, right? There's millions of MI members throughout the world, and we're all we are all gathering together under the mantle of Our Lady, and our prayers are being united, both one for each other and also for, again, the salvation of souls. You can see a pattern here. Salvation of souls, salvation of souls. This is what St. Maximilian was all about, was bringing souls to Jesus through Mary. And so that's what, as an MI family, you are united in doing that. It says that you become part of the worldwide spiritual family. You share in the daily prayers offered by MI members, and you have access to all the MI resources, including how to live out your consecration to Jesus through Mary. So they're working on their website. They went through a law, by them I mean the MI National, went through a pretty big transition recently, so they're still in the process of getting all these resources out and available, but they're doing a fine job of it. Now, if you wanted to join the MI, it's pretty simple. All you do is you choose the date. In your case, it would be June 1st, assuming that's the day that you can come make your consecration. You prepare for it, which is this series, and you enroll, which you would fill out this little form and hand it to us, and we would enroll, send it in, and you would be enrolled. Your name would go into the book, the enrollment book, and that would be that. You also would receive the miraculous medal. And then once you're an MI member, really there's not a lot of strict structure in the MI. So once you're an MI member, you're requested to renew your active consecration regularly, obviously, and we renew it not because Our Lady forgets, but because we do. To wear the miraculous medal, and to do some sort of apostolate, some sort of evangelization. It doesn't have to be with the MI groups, and it might just be your own individual, again, suffering, but to do something. So have that apostolic intent, that idea of I'm giving myself to Mary with the intention of an apostle, with that intention of bringing souls to Jesus. And so that is it. You're encouraged to give the miraculous medal away. I confess that I'm horrible at that. Horrible. I would love to give you great stories, but I don't have too many because I'm really bad about it. So it's not, there's no quota, you have to give away, otherwise I'd be out. But certainly when you're inspired to go ahead and share that, and it can just be with the people you know and love. It doesn't have to be with strangers, although with strangers it's also a pretty awesome gift to give, of course. So in a brief way, that is what the MI is, founded by St. Maximilian, and all the missionaries, to my knowledge, belong to the MI, but the MI and the Institute are, just to be clear, are two different things. Okay, the MI was founded by St. Maximilian Kolbe in 1917. It's everything that we just talked about. The Father Kolbe missionaries are lay consecrated, so we take vows. And we were founded by another Franciscan named Father Luigi Facenda in 1954. So we share the same spirituality, the same inspiration, being St. Maximilian Kolbe, but we're two totally different things. So everybody can be part of the MI, priest, religious, single, as long as you're a practicing Catholic of the age of reason. Clearly, if you're going to be a Father Kolbe missionary, you're going to have to fulfill the requirements to take the vows. So just to be clear that there are two different things that we're talking about here.